Here we have verse 34 of the 6th chapter of the Gospel of John. Jesus continuing to have a conversation with those who had been the recipients of the benefits of feeding the 5,000 the day earlier, have been impressed with Jesus' requirement that to do the works of God really boils down to one thing, and that is to believe in the one who God sent, which is, of course, Christ himself. He suggests to them that they have missed the significance of the sign value of the feeding of the 5,000 and really fixated just on the material benefit of having food to eat. And so they are, in a sense, putting the pressure on him, apparently, to meet the standards of what Moses had done many years earlier, when Moses had fed the people for 40 years in the wilderness, and at least impliedly maybe suggesting that Jesus should do something of that. But of course Jesus corrects them modestly. It wasn't Moses that provided that, it was God who provided it, and Moses was simply the human prophet or intermediary by which this great miracle was provided. And then he adds, of course, that not only did God provide there, but he moves swiftly to the present tense and says God is the one who provides the true bread from heaven. And of course Jesus will make it clear enough before we're done that he himself is that bread. God provides this bread, Jesus says, to which the people now respond, apon. This is from Lego, I say. It's the third person plural, second aorist, active indicative, so they said. Un, postpositive conjunction. Therefore, they said pros, auton. Pros, of course, the preposition takes the accusative. This is the masculine accusative singular pronoun, him. And as we've said before, the pros auton brings into the conversation a little bit of pressure. The idiom, you might say, we would use is to be in your face a little bit. It's that idea. So they said to him, and there's a little bit of pushiness to this that they're saying to him, rather than simply having the dative here, which would ordinarily be expected. And then Kyrie. Kyrie is the word for Lord, of course, Kyrios. It's interesting that they have, in a sense, upped their estimate a bit from Jesus. Earlier they called him rabbi, they called him a teacher, but now this might imply a little bit more of the respect or dignity that he deserves, although the word also often simply means sir, something like that, so it's hard to read too much into it. Pantote. This is the adverb. It means always, at all times. So Lord, at all times, dos. This is the word for to give. It's the Greek word didomi, a me verb in the New Testament, quite common. And it is the imperative mood. So what we have here is the second person singular aorist active imperative. So always, give, you, give. Humen, to us. The second person plural, dative. Give to us, ton arton, the bread. Touton, this. Give to us this bread. Something like the question or the comment that was made by the woman at the well. So give me this water so that I'll never have to thirst again. You might almost hear an echo of that. Give us this food so we'll never have to hunger again. We don't know how deep was the sense of the question they were asking here. They may still be operating at a fairly superficial level, simply wanting Jesus to continue providing food for them from this point on, what every popular sentiment has desired from their rulers to provide, as the Romans used to say, bread and circuses. Maybe that's all there was to it, or there may be something more sincere, or more deeply insightful about it, but one way or another the question is put to Jesus that he would continue to provide for them on a perpetual, ongoing basis this bread to which he has alluded.